Real estate teams are on the rise, yet many teams fail. Today, we're going to talk about why. Over the last 3 decades, we've seen many real estate agents decide to build teams. Number one, it's a way that they can actually increase leverage of their time. Number two, it's a way that they can actually accomplish more sales. And number three is to leverage off some of the activities that just don't give them energy or are not in their unique ability. Ultimately, what most real estate agents are trying to do is move from having a job to having a business. I know that's exactly what I was after when I started building a team. And unique ability is something that you are wired to do. It's very natural for you. Matter of fact, it's usually so natural for you that you think it's easy for everybody. It's also something that gives you energy because it's in your wheelhouse, and when you do things that are in your wheelhouse and easy and natural, it gives you energy. And when you try to do things that are not, it drains your energy. And quite honestly, most people don't ever differentiate between the two, and to get to the ultimate level of achievement, you're going to have to figure out what are your unique abilities and how do you do more and more of your time just in those unique abilities. I got in the real estate business in 1986, and the reason I started building a team is because, number one, there were some parts of the business that were taking up my time but were not giving me the largest return. They were not the most dollar productive activities. And then also I just wasn't good at them and didn't enjoy them. So I realized that I could find someone that was their unique ability, they loved it, gave them energy, and they were way better at it than I was. And then also I knew for me to be able to do a larger number of transactions, which was very rare back then, most people just did, probably 20 transactions a year or 30. And I wanted to do more transactions, but the only way I was going to be able to do that was to leverage my time, get me focused on the most dollar productive activities, and get other people on the team who could handle the details, the paperwork, and all of the things that just quite were not in my unique ability or honestly weren't the most dollar productive activities. I would go on to be the first person in my marketplace to hire an assistant and start building a team. I was eventually featured in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Gary Keller, and ultimately turned my real estate business over for someone else to run for 20 plus years, and then ultimately sold that business for 7 figures. Let's talk about why I see many teams fail today. Number one, they don't really understand about putting the right person in the right role on the team. In other words, they put a non-behavioral fit or someone who doesn't have the motivation to do that particular job. So when they put the wrong person in the wrong seat on the bus, if you will, they actually do a disservice to that person because it's not their natural ability, it's not what they wake up and do naturally, so it's going to be even more difficult for that person to succeed in the role that they actually don't behaviorally fit. They're going to have to modify who they are every day, and it's just been proven long term, people can't modify who they are and what their behavior is without getting sick, having headaches, and just failing at the job. Another disadvantage of putting a person in the wrong spot on the team is you not only do a disservice to that person, but you actually do a disservice to the whole team, because the whole team's success depends on every person being the right fit in their role and all rowing the boat in the same direction. Number two is they actually micromanage and try to control the job that person is supposed to do. They just can't let go. Now this one I see a lot. I'm guilty of it myself. One of the greatest gifts one of my mentors gave me one time was to point this out to me. Because when you've built a business, you're proud of that business, it's your customers, it's your clients, you want to protect the culture that you have, you want to protect the reputation that you have. So it can be extremely hard to let go, to let people do their jobs. I'm sure my coach had gotten tired of me complaining about Brad doing the job of replacing me on the team. So much so that he eventually stopped me one day and said, "Linda, do you want that job or do you want him to have it?" And it kind of stopped me in my tracks, to be honest with you, because I just wanted to complain about how he was doing it, right? Because he wasn't doing it my way. And he pointed out very quickly to me that talent will do it their way. What you have to measure is their success and not be tied to how they do it, because they're never going to do it like you because they're not you. And so that was a great blessing for me to wake up and realize I needed to get out of their way and let them do it the way they were going to do it, the way they've done things in the past to win at a high level. And all I needed to do was measure the results. And as long as they were hitting that standard, how they do it really is irrelevant. And so great blessing to learn that early, because I do believe I would have ran some really talented people off had I not learned it. Number 3, they actually don't develop the person. Really, it actually could be one of your superpowers. If you've got a talented person and you pour into them and you give them the training and the education and the growth to become even more talented, you're going to win from that. However, years ago, I would go to training and my coach would ask me, who went with you? And I'd say, well, no one. He'd say, where's the team? I'd say, they're back working. I mean, we can't all be gone from the office. And what I would soon realize is really smart business leaders actually bring their teams with them. They bring their people, they grow them, they develop them. Because what I've discovered is if they're in a class and they learn something that needs to be done, they're going to go take ownership of it and do it. Gary says authorship is ownership. So you want them sitting in those positions to be able to grow and to learn and to take a task off of your plate and just run with it. So growing and developing, I think, may even be more powerful than how much you pay someone, because that's something that you're vesting in them that they'll take with them forever and they'll have forever. And so I think we underestimate the value of growing and developing your people and finding the classes and the books and the mentors and things and coaches that they need in their life to win big for you. Number 4 is about not building your world big enough for talented people to get their dreams and their goals met inside your world. This one is near and dear to my heart. I think it is one, honestly, it's been our secret sauce. Learning this early on has paid off so much for us to keep people long term and to get people to join us that can actually grow something and take territory, and there are empire builders. Talented people won't make a lateral move. So if you're just another job with little higher pay, you're not going to attract the most talented people in some of your roles that need growth. However, you don't just give it to someone, they get to earn it. But what do you lose? If you put an opportunity together that they don't actually accomplish unless they accomplish the goals you need, you can't lose with that situation. And so many people are afraid to do that. And I think it's the secret sauce, quite honestly, to being able to build a really big life and keep people, really talented people, with you long term. And number 5, they struggle from switching from being a great salesperson to being a great leader. And Jack Welch said it best when he said, you have to just light up about others winning. And I think most agents that struggle with this, the reason they have big businesses is because they have big egos. But when you start succeeding through other people, you have to let go of your ego. And like Jack Welch says, you have to really light up about other people winning. And that takes time and adjustment and practice to do. Not every top agent's going to naturally do that, but it's a super important key part to building a business rather than having a job that you're the one that has to do every bit of it forever. And here's the secret. If you learn to do that, you'll have way more success than you could ever dream of having on your own. If you want to learn how to build, lead, and scale a team the right way, and we're going to teach you our formula on exactly how to do that. And I'm Linda McKissack, and I'll see you in the next video for more.